in France, Fermob crafts furniture and decor for outdoor spaces using steel, one of the most recyclable materials on the planet, and has mastered many zero-waste processes that give them top-tier status in the world of circularity. I am meeting with Bernard Rébier, president at Fermob, to learn more about their visionary sustainable practices and where they're going in the future. Please join me. Bonjour Bernard, welcome to our Circular Design series. It's a pleasure having you here today.
Welcome, Laurence. It's my pleasure to be here with your audience. I'm happy to be with you.
Thank you so much. Would you please introduce yourself and your products?
I am Bernard Rébier. I am the president of Fermob. Fermob is a French company designing, manufacturing, and selling furniture, outdoor furniture, and not only furniture, but I would say more generally, decoration for the outdoor market. We have about 2,000 retailers all over the world. We are selling in about 60 countries through retailers to private end user or to professionals through architects selling to hotel, restaurants, cities or community who are in charge of public spaces. And our company is located in France. We have been inspired by our French history, the history of French creativity. We have been inspired by all our craftsmen and all the old industries, some of those industries dating back to the 14th century.
What inspired you to get into the outdoor furniture industry initially?
My family, they have been in the past always entrepreneurs. So the first reason I wanted to have my own company or to develop my own company as an entrepreneur. But the second point is that I came to this outdoor furniture industry because first I fell in love with the material, which is steel. You know, Gustave Eiffel, the one who designed our Eiffel Tower in Paris, used to say, steel is a raw material for ideas, because with a single steel rod of 10 millimeter thickness, you can make and manufacture a product which is very close to what you have in your mind. This material is very old, but maybe it's why it's so old that the future could be so bright. I am not an artist, but I have a kind of design sense, artistic sensibility, and I felt that in such a company dealing with such a wonderful material, well, to a certain extent, it could be close to my own personal feeling and passion. When I took over this small company, only 10 persons, they had manufacturing facilities. And for me, manufacturing your own product is something very important. I like to understand the story from the very beginning to the end. And if you are not a manufacturer, it's more difficult to understand.
When did you first start embracing eco-friendly practices and why?
You know, I wrote down the values of the company more than 25 years ago. Among them were attention to the other and respect for environment. We are selling products that go outside. So it was so obvious for me that we had to take care of where we were and where our products were going to be. I couldn't imagine that we could manufacture a product going outside without paying attention to where we were and to a certain extent not being fair with nature. You know, when I say my company is in the countryside, from my office here right now, I can see the hill of the Beaujolais. I can see the river, which is less than 1 kilometer from here. And we are really in the middle of the nature. And besides that, at that time, it was also part of my conviction that we have to pay respect, attention, not only to the people around you, and I try to do that with my colleague in my company, but also to everything which is around us. Fermob is a proud member of the Sustainable Furnishings Council and was honored to earn Gold Exemplary recognition by the SFC.
What sustainable and particularly circular practices are you most proud to have adopted at Fermob?
100% of the people in the company are committed to the respect for environment. It means they are behind me when we are making some changes, either in the process, either in the product, either in the organization. Well, they don't say, well, it's difficult, it's a new change. Well, they follow me. They also bring their ideas. So I'm not alone. It's a whole company which is involved in those practices, and I'm quite proud about that.
That's fantastic. When the team supports the company's leadership, it accelerates success. Can you share a success story regarding a zero waste process?
Yes, 25 years ago, I took a very risky decision when investing 25% of my turnover in a new painting process. So it was a huge financial risk, but my decision was I want to have a zero waste painting process. It was maybe a very difficult decision, a crazy decision, a risky decision, but nowadays I am happy and proud about this decision.
What a story. I admire the risk you took. So let's talk about what products are made of at Fermob. What materials are used, and where are raw materials for this product sourced?
Mainly for us, it's steel and aluminium. They are quite heavy to transport. So we buy our raw material from France, Italy, or Spain. Where we are in Lyon, which is in the center south of France, we are closer to Italy than to Paris. And you know that north of Spain is not that far from the southern part of France. So we buy from France, Italy, or Spain our steel. We decided a few years ago to start with lighting equipment. We have been designing them in France. Lighting equipment is not our core business. So they are made right now in a factory which is in China, because 90% of the parts you need are in China for lighting equipment. Well, you know about that for your smartphone and etc. It's about the same for lighting equipment. In the future, we are considering factories in the US and in Asia. Why? Because we hope our sales will be growing on those markets, and considering working local for this market, bringing our expertise and building with local employees and local suppliers, maybe a new story. Who knows?
I really love your fun and creative outdoor furniture. Why use steel instead of wood?
Well, we have been dealing with this material for so many years, more than 100 years. I have the greatest respect for wood, for plastic, but our know-how has been in the steel and metal. We are a lucky company because the recycling of steel has been organized for many centuries. Everywhere in the world, the recycling of steel is organized. And it's about the same for aluminium. And it's organized because it has been organized for so many years in a very efficient recycling process. The worldwide material efficiency rate of steel is 96.3%. Steel can nearly be indefinitely used, recycle and recycle and recycle, etc. Today, steel products may become in the future a train or bridges or a chair, and your chair can become a train, and etc., etc. We are very happy to use steel and more generally metal.
How about finishing materials? What sustainable options do you use for paint and other finishes?
When you are manufacturing outdoor products, the protection of your product is very important. We use a powder coating process to protect them and to give the bright colors of the Fermob range. We started with a zero waste process for the powder coat. And then we went to a zero waste process for water. Not a single drop of water going out. Every Monday, we check the water consumption, and we have to add a little bit of water because of the natural evaporation in the system. But we are very, very proud to say it's really a zero waste process in our factory. And not only for water, but for many components of what you had in the treatment of the steel. 15 years ago, we still had copper or zinc or nonylphenols, phenols, many chemical things, some slight amount. And right now, we have 0% of those copper, zinc, fluorantane, nonylphenol. We also made a decision many years ago, before it was compulsory to, because of the REACH agreement, we made a decision, we don't want any lead parts in our powder paint. For so many years, we wanted, and it was a kind of challenge for me, we wanted to be the first to have such virtuous equipment. We still try to improve year after year. But since we are at zero for everything, it's going to be more and more difficult.
What a thorough process to get to zero waste. Let's talk more about circularity at Fermob. What's the approach to waste management and designing waste out of your processes?
Steel is an old but noble and recyclable material. So our mission is to bring more modernity, more design to this old material of the future. We still have to improve the recycling percentage. So for that, design is very important, and innovation is really key to that. It's not only in the material you use in the product, it's not only in the process, it's also we try to pay attention to innovation with the way the employees in the factory can be organized to work. With the tabletop, we reduce by 30% the thickness of the tabletop, improving the sturdiness and the quality of the steel. We are proud about that because no doubt that the impact on the environment is much smaller when you have 30% of material compared to what we had before. Many years ago, in the spirit of everybody, a good product is a heavy product. And what I was saying, well, you can have a good product, a light product, can also be resistant, sturdy, etc., etc. And from a usage point of view, by the way, a light chair is much better than a heavy chair.
More about waste reduction and upcycling. Can you describe how much of your waste is reused or upcycled?
It's a very simple question, a very simple answer for me, 100%. I'm not only speaking about steel and metal, which already accounts for the majority of all our product, but even the plastic glides we are using are made of recycled plastic. We have been using recycled boxes for 20 years, maybe, or 25 years. So now, because we have this 100%, we try to go further. And trying to go further is to say we always pay attention to the longevity of the product, including lighting equipment. We pay attention to the end of the life of the product. We also want to pay attention to the way our suppliers are organized. For instance, our recycled steel is coming from electrical arc processed high furnaces because they have a much lower carbon impact. The other key issue is with the second life of the product. As a consumer, after years, you may want to change your product, you may have other need. Then, because our products have such a longevity, what are you going to do? We are organizing right now the second life of your product. We are testing a project right now where you could, as a consumer, bring some of your furniture to a paint applicator, which is linked to our company. Then you could repaint your product. Because you have to understand that repainting any product is very easy, but the cost of transport, if everybody was sending his product to Fermob, would be huge, and it wouldn't be a fair solution. So we hope to have several facilities with a specific organization so that you can say, okay, this one is close to me, I can bring the product and I can extend the longevity of my product. I can also have additional pleasure because I can change the color. So this is what we are trying to do. We try to innovate, we try to go further.
Do you wish you can take back products, but need a way to do it profitably?
We had an experience very recently in Paris in one of the well-known hotel and swimming pool and I would say a resort inside Paris. And we told them, well, you have 600 pieces of furniture, wood, steel, whatever. Okay, you want to change them. Good decision. It's good for the outdoor furniture industry. But question is, what is going to happen to all those furniture? We took back all the products. One part is going to be repainted in our factory. Another part will be sold to a restaurant who are okay to buy second-hand product. We also said, okay, we are going to renew some of them to give them to some social organization with people in need of furniture. And we organize that for all the product of this company, even if it wasn't Fermob product. We are going to see what was the overall cost of this operation. At the end, we don't want to make specifically profit on this, but we want to have a flat operation, but we want to offer to everybody the possibility to be responsible for the second life of the product you have been using.
How does Fermob measure its impact? Any statistics you can share about the measurable effects of your eco-friendly policies?
I couldn't imagine 25 years ago that year after year, we could still make progress. For instance, in 2019, we saved 5.4% of electricity consumption. And in 2020, we save again minus 9%. With the greenhouse gas emission also from 5 million kWh to 4.3 million in 2020. Those figures are maybe not impressive enough, but for me, they are marvelous. Because if everybody is making progress, then we will come to a global success. I don't want to look at the figures in absolute terms. I want to check if year after year, we are improving. I don't know how my people can perform year after year to improve. You know, when we achieve a minus 9% with electricity, well, I say, well, they can't, we can't go further. And the year after, we had minus 5.4%. I think the human creativity, the motivation can turn people very, very clever. And when you have so many people involved in such a challenge, well, you can succeed.
Indeed, we all have to do our part for the betterment of the planet. What is the circular challenge you are facing in your business, and what worries you?
The circular challenge is what we try to start with a second life of product. Could it be profitable? What worries me? I don't like the quick delivery, and especially the last kilometers. We all know it costs a lot. People want to have a product within 1 day or 24 hours or 48 hours. I don't understand that. I mean, why are we so impatient? Why? I don't understand that.
Bernard, what trends do you foresee in the industry at large?
I know that there are some important trends, and the most important for me would be tell us the truth. We have to be transparent. We have to tell the truth to the consumer. The consumer has to know is responsible. So it already has started in the food industry. You know exactly when buying your product how it's made, the calorie, etc. You have more and more information in the industry. We have to tell the truth. We have to tell the truth about the raw material, about the process, etc. The consumer is responsible enough to make a choice. We all know that the 100% perfection, you can't find that everywhere. But telling the truth is certainly the most significant trend for the future. And I have to say, above that, it's much easier to tell the truth than lying, because if you lie, you have to remember the way you present things and etc. And in my personal life, say, well, telling the truth is easier than anything else. It makes you comfortable, so easy.
Thank you, Bernard, for sharing your views so candidly. You certainly are an advocate for healthy materials. What do you wish the Fermob legacy to be?
Well, forget me, forget Fermob. In the value of the company, we have joie de vivre. So be happy with our product. My pleasure would be to know that people are happy with our furniture in their home, in their garden, with their children, friends, and if everybody was happy in the world, I mean, the world would be much more different. So the consequences would be wonderful for everybody. So I am a small part of the worldwide happiness, a small contributor, very, very small contributor.
Thank you, Bernard. I truly appreciated our conversation and learning about Fermob's product and its circular processes.
It was my pleasure too. You understand I'm a little bit passionate by what I am doing, and sharing is a pleasure.
Fermob has a truly amazing roster of circular accomplishments. From their zero-waste processes involving steel, aluminum, water, and finishing to their innovative ways to make an old material modern, save electricity, and reduce carbon emissions, Fermob has always been ahead of its time. Their steady year-after-year improvement process has all added up to substantially measurable impact. I can't wait to see how their commitment to offering a second life for their products turns out, and hope that many furniture designers, manufacturers, and retailers are inspired by the changes that help make Fermob one of the most circular companies in the industry.